Hey everyone, and welcome to Chinese Skill Unit 13. This unit is all about time. We're going to learn a few simple time phrases as well as cover a basic structure that will allow us to construct sentences using those time phrases. So let's start with the question, what time is it? 现在几点?现在几点? What time is it? 现在 means right now, and 几点 means what time. So if it was 8 o'clock, you could respond 现在八点. It's 8 o'clock right now. 点 can be translated as o'clock. So 三点 is 3 o'clock, and 四点 is 4 o'clock. So how would you say it's 6 o'clock right now? 现在六点. 现在六点. It's 6 o'clock right now. Good job. For times including minutes, we can use the following structure. A number plus 点 plus a number plus 分. So for example, 3:30. 三点三十分. 三点三十分. 3:30. Now let's take a look at a few more times. 9:57. 九点五十七分. 九点五十七分. 9:57. And how about 4:45? 四点四十五分. 四点四十五分. And now let's take a look at the time 2:22. Do you still remember the number 2 in Chinese actually has 2 different pronunciations, depending if you're counting things or just reading a number? When reading times, 2 o'clock is pronounced 两点. So 2:22 is 两点二十二分. 两点二十二分. So can you guess how to say 2:30? 两点三十分. 两点三十分. That's right. Good job. Now that we can say the time, let's look at a few phrases used throughout different times of the day. When greeting someone in the morning, you can say 早上好, which means good morning. 早上 means morning, and 好 literally means good. 早上好, good morning. And a little bonus tip here, if you ever get to travel to China, you may notice that in more casual situations, Chinese people will just say 早, which is the shortened version of 早上好 when greeting each other in the morning. 中午 is the word for midday or noon, and 晚上 is the word for evening. Even though they're not used very commonly, you can still say 中午好 to greet someone at midday or noon, and 晚上好 to greet someone in the evening. Something really cool about Chinese is how certain words are constructed, as well as how certain words are broken down, and the pieces are used to form new words with different meanings. For example, 早 means early, and 早上 can be interpreted as the early part of the day. But when combined with the word for meal, 饭, we get 早饭, which means breakfast. 晚 means late, and 晚上 refers to the later part of the day. So can you guess how to say dinner in Chinese? 晚饭. 晚饭. That's right, dinner. Keeping in mind the word for midday or noon is 中午. 中 literally means middle, and 午 means noon. So when saying lunch, which is usually eaten at noon, we can say 午饭. 午饭. Do you still remember how to say eat in Chinese? 吃. So how would you say to eat lunch? 吃午饭. 吃午饭. To eat lunch. Now how would you say to eat breakfast? 吃早饭. 吃早饭. To eat breakfast. Good job. Speaking of eating, another common greeting you might hear if you get to go to China is 你吃了吗? Which means have you eaten yet? Here we see the particle 了, which is used to indicate the completion of an action. 吃了 means eaten or ate. The greeting 你吃了吗? Have you eaten yet? Is more commonly used by the older generation. Actually, I remember my grandmother used to say this to me all the time. The moment I walked in the door, she was like, Kyle, have you eaten yet? Want me to fix you some lunch? Now that we've covered a few short time phrases, let's look at how to use them to construct full sentences. Time phrases in Chinese usually come before the verb or verb phrase and use the following structure: subject plus time phrase plus verb plus object. So for example, the question my grandmother used to ask me, have you eaten lunch today? 你今天吃午饭了吗? 你今天吃午饭了吗? Have you eaten lunch today? Notice 今天, the word for today, comes before the verb 吃, to eat, whereas in English, today comes at the end of the sentence. This is where Chinese differs from a lot of other languages, and it may feel kind of hard to express yourself this way at first, but just use the example sentence 你今天吃午饭了吗 to practice, and later you can switch out the subject, the time phrase, or even the meal. This concludes the video lesson for Unit 13. On behalf of everybody at ChineseSkill, I want to wish you happy studies, and I will see you in Unit 14. Bye bye.